Something was keeping pace with me just off the trail to my left. I slowed down slightly to see if I was imagining it. It slowed too. I stopped. It stopped. That's when it stopped feeling like an animal. I still hadn't seen anything, but it was staying exactly level with me, just inside the trees. The path ran through a dense stretch of forest, the kind where you hear movement long before you ever see it. At first I told myself it was probably a deer. That wasn't unusual out there, but the way it moved didn't match that at all. It wasn't crossing the trail or running off, it was just staying with me. The woods went quiet again, but this time it didn't feel empty. I stood there for a few seconds listening. No footsteps, no branches snapping, nothing moving, just the wind pushing lightly through the trees and the creek somewhere below the ridge. I told myself it was probably just an animal pausing because it noticed me. That made sense. Most animals freeze when they realize you're nearby. I started walking again, a little faster this time. After maybe 10 steps, I heard it again. Leaves shifting, something moving parallel to me, same distance as before. It wasn't crossing my path, it wasn't running away, it was just staying with me. I kept going, but now I was paying attention to every sound. I adjusted my pace again, slowing down slightly, then speeding up. Each time it adjusted too, not instantly, but close enough that it felt deliberate. That's when it stopped, feeling like a deer. Even a curious animal wouldn't mirror movement like that for this long. I stepped off the trail a bit, just a couple of feet into the brush, changing my angle. The sound shifted almost immediately to match it. Still the same distance, still just out of sight. That was the first moment I felt something tighten in my chest. I moved back onto the trail and kept walking, this time without testing it. I didn't want to confirm it again, but it stayed there anyway. I could hear it more clearly now. Not heavy, not crashing through branches, just controlled movement, like whatever it was knew exactly how to step without making noise. I glanced to the side a couple of times, but all I could see were tree trunks and patches of shadow. The light was getting worse too. Not dark yet, but enough that the deeper parts of the woods looked almost flat and depthless, like something could be standing there and you just wouldn't pick it out. After another minute or so, I stopped again, more abruptly this time. The sound didn't stop right away. It took maybe 1 or 2 more steps before it went quiet. That delay made it worse. It meant whatever was out there hadn't reacted to me stopping. It had been moving on its own, not just matching me anymore. I stayed still and stared into the trees, trying to force my eyes to pick out movement. That's when I thought I saw something, not clearly, just a darker shape between 2 trunks, a little higher off the ground than I expected. Then it was gone again. I didn't like that at all. I started walking again, faster now, not running, but definitely not casual anymore. The trail curved slightly ahead, and I knew there was a small wooden bridge maybe 5 minutes up, crossing the creek. I focused on that, just getting there, keeping my steps steady. Behind the trees, the movement picked up again. Closer this time, I could hear it more distinctly now. Not just leaves, but actual steps, weight shifting, something larger than a deer should sound. I didn't look again. I didn't want to confirm anything yet. A few seconds later, I heard something that didn't fit at all. A single step that sounded wrong, not like hooves, not like paws, more like a foot placing down flat. I slowed without meaning to, and the movement matched me again, closer now than before. I turned my head slightly, just enough to catch the edge of my vision, and for a second I saw it. It was moving behind a tree, low at first, like an animal would be. Then it shifted upward, not jumping, not climbing, just straightening. I stopped walking. Completely. The woods went quiet again, but this time it didn't feel empty. It felt like something was just standing there, waiting. I stared at the spot where I'd seen it, trying to make sense of what I'd just watched. It didn't move like an animal. It didn't look like one either, not in the way it held itself. I took a step backward on the trail. No response. I took another. Then I turned and started walking forward again, faster than before. The sound came back almost immediately, closer than it had been at any point so far. I could hear it clearly now, pacing me, not even trying to stay hidden anymore. That's when I realized it wasn't just following me, it was adjusting to me. Every time I sped up, it sped up. Every time I slowed, it closed the distance a little more. I could feel it now without even looking. That awareness you get when something is too close behind you. I broke into a jog. The trail dipped slightly and curved toward the bridge ahead, and I could see the darker line of it through the trees. Behind me, the movement changed again. No more careful steps. Now it was faster, heavier, not crashing, but definitely not hiding either. I glanced back once, and this time I saw it clearly enough to know I wasn't imagining anything. It was upright, too upright, moving between the trees in a way that didn't match anything I'd ever seen out there. I didn't look again. I just ran. The bridge came up faster than I expected, the wooden planks loud under my feet as I crossed. For a second, I thought that might slow it down, that it wouldn't follow me onto something so exposed. But I heard it hit the other side almost immediately. The same rhythm, the same pace, no hesitation. I kept going, not even thinking about the trail anymore, just putting distance between me and whatever was behind me. By the time I reached the clearing near the parking area, my legs were starting to burn. The trees thinned out enough that I could finally see further than a few meters. I slowed down just enough to look back. Nothing. No movement, no shape between the trees, just the forest again, still and quiet like before. I stayed there for a few seconds, breathing hard, listening for anything at all. There was nothing. I didn't wait any longer. I went straight to my car, got in, and locked the doors. Even then, I didn't start the engine right away. I just sat there, looking back at the tree line. It looked normal again, completely normal, like I'd imagined everything that happened out there. But when I finally started the car and the headlights swept across the edge of the woods, I caught something for just a second, a shape, standing between two trees, taller than anything around it, completely still, and then it stepped back just far enough that the light didn't reach it anymore. I kept staring at the tree line for a few more seconds, trying to convince myself it was just my eyes adjusting to the light. But something about the way it had stepped back didn't feel like an animal retreating. It hadn't run, it hadn't even turned. It had just shifted out of sight, like it knew exactly where the edge of the headlights stopped. I reached for the ignition and turned the key. The engine came on, louder than I expected in the quiet, and for a moment I felt some of that pressure ease, like being inside the car actually meant something, but I didn't drive yet. I don't really know why, I just sat there, still looking at the same spot between the trees. That's when I noticed something else. The shape I'd seen wasn't where it had been anymore. At first, I thought I'd just lost track of it, but then I realized I could still see the same gap between the trees clearly now. And it wasn't there, it had moved again. I scanned along the edge of the woods, slower this time, and then I saw it, closer. Not by much, maybe a few meters, but enough that I didn't think I could have missed it moving. It was just standing there again, completely still, like it had always been in that spot. The way it held itself was the worst part. Too straight, too controlled, not like anything that belonged out there. I put the car into reverse without taking my eyes off it. The tires crunched against the gravel as I started backing out of the clearing. The headlights shifted with the movement, sweeping across the trees, and for a second I thought it might disappear again, but it didn't. It stayed right there, inside the light now, just at the edge of it. And then, as the angle changed, I saw it move. Not a step forward. Just a small adjustment, like it was turning slightly to keep facing me. Even as I moved away, I stopped the car for a split second, not even thinking about it. And it stopped too. That was enough. I didn't look again after that. I turned the wheel and drove out of there faster than I should have on that road, not slowing down until the trees thinned out and I hit the main road. Even then, I kept checking the rearview mirror more than I needed to. Nothing was there. No headlights, no movement, nothing following me. By the time I got home, everything felt almost normal again, like I'd just worked myself up over nothing. But when I got out of the car and walked around to the back, I noticed something I don't really have an explanation for. There were marks in the dust on the rear bumper, not scratches, not dirt from the road, just a set of faint, uneven prints, spaced like fingers, dragged slightly downward, as if something had been holding on to it for a short distance.